disappointing to hear.
Yeah, it's a light brighter, and of course I can more or less see. But premium lenses should be.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's that's why I'm not glass free. I can see distance, and I think I can see near. I can read this easily, and before it was getting to be a problem. So I hope that you're just a late bloomer, so to speak.
Some things, they do say certain things.
Oh, is that right? Are you still getting that or no? Because I remember that was one of the things.
Yes, we're getting, this is the one that's supposed to reduce it.
Oh, yeah.
But
I don't know.
they say when you read it, it takes time for that to happen.
Yeah.
It takes time to adjust. We'll find out tomorrow when they.
Yeah, I'll say that for a while I was really attuned to it. Not that I was trying to focus on it, but pardon the pun, but it just couldn't. It was unavoidable. But now over time, it's become like I have to think about it now when I see a halo or something. Like in the nursery, it was like, oh my goodness, what's wrong here? But now it's just kind of second nature. My brain's adjusted to it. That's just me. I guess so. I have to retrain the brain.
I can tell it's already this one more
Okay.
in some ways.
Good. Good. Well, I hope that you get the green light.
Yeah.
How soon would the next one be if this is okay?
Next week,
Okay.
alternating with the meetings, which will.
Okay, well,
Because I really can't see
Send
them
online and saw that it's not on
kind
there,
of
so they
sense
have
that.
no reason
But
to.
that's okay. Yeah. We can if you need a ride or something. just let
Let's
me know.
see.
Yeah, I think I should be all set.
Good.
Oh, we're just waiting for the clock to do its thing.
I can put this quiet in there.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Cuyahoga Heights Board of Education meeting on February 28th, 2024. On behalf of the board, I'd like to welcome everyone, staff, parents, students, and interested community members to tonight's Board of Education meeting. The board values and encourages public comment on education issues. Anyone having an interest in the actions of the board may participate during the public comments portion of the meeting, and if you wish to do so, please identify yourself on the sign-in sheet, and we do remind you to silence your cell phones during the meeting. At this point, please rise for the Pledge of
You wanna
Allegiance. Oh, did I miss roll call? Yeah, we'll do it at the end. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I pledge allegiance
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And will the treasurer please call the roll?
Mrs. Decker.
Here.
Mrs. Etter.
Here.
Ms. Prowse.
Here.
Mr. Dobbins.
Here.
Mr. Suchaki.
Here, by present, none absent. At this point, I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Dobbins. Okay, second by Mrs. Prowse. Is there any discussion? Changes to the agenda? Hearing none, treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Dobbins.
Aye.
Ms. Prowse.
Aye.
Mrs. Decker.
Aye.
Mrs. Etter.
Aye.
Mr. Suchaki.
Aye, motion passes 5-0. At this point, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Mr. Young for the staff spotlight for the month of February.
All right, thank you, Mr. Suchaki. It's a pleasure for me to introduce our February Staff Spotlight Award member, Jessica Dendia, nominated our student attendant, Mrs. Lisa Osborne. Mrs. Osborne has celebrity status, as you can see. All right, I'd like to read the resolution. It says, whereas the Cuyahoga Heights School District has been fortunate to have dedicated staff committed to the mission of the district, and whereas Lisa Osborne has shown the ability to adapt to any challenges that may be thrown her way, and does so while remaining both professional and attentive to her students. And whereas Mrs. Osborne shows up every day ready to accept whatever opportunities may pop up, and whereas Mrs. Osborne's schedule is known to change rapidly on any given day, and when it does, she follows through in her new role with little direction needed. And whereas Mrs. Osborne has great relationships with her colleagues and coworkers who entrust her with all students, as well as any additional responsibilities within the classroom. And whereas Mrs. Osborne's caring ways allow her to build close relationships with her students, fostering trust to help get them ready for their day, even when they may not feel like it. And whereas Mrs. Osborne also has a knack for being able to sprinkle laughter in with education and bring smiles to her students' faces. And therefore, be it resolved that the Cuyahoga Heights Board of Education congratulates Lisa Osborne on her February 28th, 2024 selection to the Cuyahoga Heights Schools Staff Spotlight.
Okay, and to make this formal, I'm going to request a motion to approve that award.
So moved?
Okay, and you, a second?
second,
Okay,
yes.
and we have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, treasurer, please call the roll.
Mrs. Etter.
Aye.
Mrs. Decker.
Aye.
Ms. Prowse.
Aye.
Mr. Dobbins.
Aye.
Mr. Souchaki.
Aye, motion passes 5-0. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, get the fancy resolution. And you have to wear it. Here, let's show you your resolution. Don't miss it.
Awesome.
Good enough,
Yes.
right? Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations again, and more presentations. I'll turn it right back to Mr. Young for Students of the Month.
All right, so for our Students of the Month, I'm going to call up middle school and high school principal, Mr. Scott Dietrich. He's going to introduce our 6th grade through 12th grade Students of the Month.
Good evening, everyone. I'd first like to congratulate our senior student of the month, Georgia Catlett. Please come forward. Georgia's parents are Robin and Dale. She is the youngest of 3, and the family lives in Brooklyn Heights. She has attended Cuyahoga Heights since pre-K. She said her dad and her older siblings are all alumni of Heights. Georgia's favorite subject is AP Psychology. She is a member of the school's cross-country team, swimming, and softball teams. She is the president of the Spanish Club and the National Honor Society. And after that, she works also part-time as a lifeguard and swim instructor. Her most memorable experience at Heights was the day that the fire alarm was malfunctioning during a swim practice, and everyone was instructed to keep swimming. She plans to become a forensic psychologist and hopes to work in a prison someday. Here is what her teacher had stated. Georgia Catlett is currently taking 4 AP classes, including government, psychology, English literature, and statistics. The amount of time it takes to excel in one AP class can be a lot, but to do it in 4 is pretty amazing. What is even more impressive is that she is doing it while at the same time competing on the high school swim team, which is one of the most exhausting and time-consuming sports a student can engage in. She recently won the CBC Conference Championship in the 200 freestyle and 2nd place in the 500 freestyle, and leading 2 more relays to top 4 finishes. As her teacher and coach, I recognize how important it is to have someone like Georgia on the team, because she is a tremendous senior leader and is an inspiration to her teammates with her work ethic and commitment to the sport. She has recently committed to swim in college, where I know she will do very well because she is not afraid of challenges or hard work. Georgia is a multi-time conference champion and district qualifier, and we expect her to reach the same level of success again this season as she hopes to lead our team towards the championship meet. This was written before the final. But the swim season's over. She had a tremendous season. So let's congratulate once again Georgia Catlett. From the junior class, I have Tyler Herman. Is Tyler, didn't see him earlier. All right, I'm still going to read what his nominating teacher had written about him. Here's what his teacher wrote. Tyler has been keeping up with schoolwork here at Heights and also at his CBCC program. He is always prepared for class and prioritizes his assignments and classwork to make sure he is on top of everything. He is polite and always advocates for himself, and when he needs clarification or extra help with something in class, going from the 10th grade to the 11th grade and taking classes at CVCC is a challenge, and he is doing exceptionally well in keeping up with both at both schools. Congratulations, Tyler Herman. Next, our 10th grade student of the month for February is AJ Kurta. AJ is here tonight with his parents, Amanda and Andrew. He has an older brother who graduated from Heights last year, and he has been a student here since pre-K as well. They are residents of Brooklyn Heights, and AJ's favorite subject is history. AJ is in the jazz band, honors band, marching band, musical theater, game board club, chess club, Model UN, mock trial, recoup, and represents our school in the First Ring Leadership Academy, which is 5 students from our school, along with other schools that are adjacent to Cleveland Public. They meet once a month up at Cleveland State. His most memorable experience at Cuyahoga Heights was when he was selected to speak at the General Assembly this year at the state conference held in Columbus in front of thousands of other students. He intends to pursue a career in law and hopefully become a prosecutor or defense attorney someday. And here's what his teacher had written. AJ is an all-around, upstanding individual with many interests. It is quite apparent that he is an emerging leader in his class. Hardworking and tenacious, he has given himself challenges that he finds obtainable. As long as he works hard for it, he will achieve them. He accepts additional responsibilities when he sees that someone needs to step up and take it on. In Model UN, he took it upon himself to help others in his group to prepare their musical entry into the talent competition and had taken 2 witness roles in the mock trial event. He is also a chosen member for the Cuyahoga Heights First Ring Leadership Academy, where they are currently researching and learning about grading scales in Northeast Ohio. Congratulations, AJ Kurta. The 9th grade student of the month for February is Joey Nee. Joey told me in advance that he was going to be unable to attend this evening, but I will still read what his teacher had written. Joey, while relatively quiet amongst his peers, he absolutely bristles with intelligence. He is ready to answer any question that is posed to him or the class with depth and nuance. He is a new member to both Model United Nations and mock trial. He is driven and diligent in his preparation for the upcoming mock trial competition and has already been given high praise from our cooperating attorney. It is without reservation that I nominate Joey Nee for Student of the Month. Congratulations, Joey Nee. For the 8th grade, Sophia Jackson. Sophia is here with her mother, Grace. She is the oldest of 4, and the family lives in Brooklyn Heights. She has attended Cuyahoga Heights since pre-K as well, and Sophia's favorite subject is math. She is in the band and is active swim. She is actively in the swimming, track, soccer, and volleyball. In her free time, she enjoys drawing, painting, and running. Her most memorable experiences were the first and the last day of the track meets during last season. She wants to pursue a career in business that combines her passion and artistic interests. Here's what her teacher had written. Sophia Jackson is the 8th grade nomination for February Student of the Month. Sophia has a good head on her shoulders, and she has earned fantastic grades while participating in extracurricular sports like volleyball and track. Sophia is kind to her peers and classmates. A quiet leader, Sophia is a role model of class participates in class and adds to the classroom discussions. Sophia would be there to help out a friend in need. We hope Sophia has a fantastic end of the year and excels in all she attempts to accomplish. Congratulations, Sophia. Next, the 7th grade student of the month for February, Matthew Collin. Matthew is here with his parents, Colleen and Matthew. He and his family live in Cuyahoga Heights. He has attended Cuyahoga Heights since pre-K, and he says his favorite subject in school is math. Matthew is a member of the choir and was on the football team and plans to run track this spring. Outside of school, he spends a lot of time playing sports and is also on a traveling soccer team. When I asked him what he sees himself doing in 10 years, he said, playing in the NFL. I followed up with what position. He quickly stated, running back. So, hopefully you get there. Here's what his teacher wrote in the nomination. Matthew Cowling is the 7th grade's nomination for Student of the Month. Matthew exemplifies outstanding citizenship with his consistently pleasant demeanor towards both staff and students. His positive attitude creates a welcoming environment, contributing to the sense of community within our school. Matthew is dedicated to his studies, consistently working hard to achieve excellence. His commitment to academic success reflects not only in his grades, but also in an eagerness to learn. Matthew is truly deserving of the Student of the Month recognition for his exceptional citizenship. Congratulations, Matthew Cowling. And the last middle school grade, for the 6th grade, February Student of the Month, Crew Kopich. Crew is here with his parents, Joel and Kara. He has a younger brother, and the family live in Seven Hills along with their 2 dogs that Crew described to me today as ankle nippers. Crew has attended Cuyahoga Heights since pre-K, and his favorite subjects in school are math and PE. He is a member of the band, and this year he helped our middle school football and basketball teams on the sidelines. He intends to play basketball, football, track, and baseball for the Red Wolves starting next year. Outside of school, he plays on a lot of travel sports teams. Crew told me he is a huge country music fan and he loves to sing along to the radio. When I asked him where he sees himself in 10 years, he said, the NBA or the NFL. But you had a backup plan for him. Then he was going to coach. Here's what his nominating teacher had written. I have had the pleasure of having Crew as a 6th grade student in physical education class. Crew brings a smile and his energy every day to class, which he uses to encourage his classmates. He can be seen giving a high five or heard saying good job to his classmates. Crew never judges his peers and is always friendly, helpful, and a great leader. He strives to do his very best in all that he does in class. It is truly a pleasure having Crew in class. Keep striving for greatness. Let's congratulate Crew Kopich. And now I'll hand over the microphone to Mr. Kiefer for the elementary school students.
Good evening. I have not 2, but 3 people I'd like to honor tonight. One was from last month who happened to be ill, our 3rd grade student of the month, Noah Sambrigo. Noah, you want to come up with me, please? I'd like to also honor his teachers here tonight, Mrs. Zingo. When I interviewed Noah last month, he shared with me he does live in Brooklyn Heights. He lives there with mom and dad, and Levi's 2, he's not there. And his dog Flash. I asked him what his favorite subject was in school, and he said math because it comes easier to me, and he wants to learn more. His favorite specials class was, of course, PE. Right, Coach Colby? Okay. Because he likes to jog and run around. Outside of school, he's a gamer. He loves to play his video games and especially Fortnite. When he grew up, he likes to, I see a smile there. When he grows up, he wants to work in electronics. So he said he'll probably go to JBS for electronics class. And his message to his parents that are here with him both tonight, he said, thanks for having me and for being my parents. Mrs. Zingali wrote this for you. Noah Samarigo has been selected as a third grade student of the month for exemplifying many wonderful attributes. Noah has the unique ability to make everyone feel like somebody. He brightens the days of those around him with his contagious smile. Let's see, and excitement for simple pleasures. He demonstrates perseverance when faced with challenges and is developing impressive tenacity. Noah has an eagerness to do well academically and is keen on sharing his knowledge with those around him. Beyond academics, Noah is a curious, respectful, kind, and funny 8-year-old boy. I've had the pleasure of being Noah's teacher this year, and he deserves recognition for his grit and notable character. Thank you for being such a wonderful addition to our classroom family. Keep up the great work, Noah. Come and stand next to you. Noah, right over here next to the first one. There you go. Then my kids will come this way. Okay, so this month we honored our first graders. And I'd like to acknowledge two of our first grade teachers that are here tonight, Mrs. Martins and Miss Budzik. Thank you for being with us. We're going to start with ladies first. Come on down, Miss Layla Prosser. This is Layla Prosser, who's in first grade. She lives in Valley View with mom and dad, Henry, wait, okay, and who's in first grade too. And Alexis, wait, who's in second grade. Okay. No pets though. I think she wants a pet maybe. So work on that, mom and dad. Her favorite subject in school, once again, a lot of people like to say this one, math, because they learn new stuff, and she's really good at adding and subtracting. Her favorite specials class, once again, PE. Get to run around and play games, right? Okay, and outside of school, she likes to play tag with her friends and be good to Henry and Alexis, right? Okay. And play outside. When she wants to grow up, and I didn't know this, she wants to be like her mom. She wants to be a nurse. And so she says, yes, I'm going to go to college. And her message to the two of you tonight is, she's been doing a really good job at school. And thank you once again for being her parents. And her teachers wrote this about Layla. The first grade team is so excited to nominate Layla Prosser as our February Student of the Month. She starts every day walking in with a huge infectious smile. Layla has a very kind heart and truly cares about every classmate. Her classmates enjoy interacting with her during recess or small group activities. We all enjoy her sense of humor. She goes out of her way to help other students as well as the teachers. Layla works hard on her tasks and always adds insightful thoughts to our classroom discussions. She never gives up when something is difficult. She works it until she has it all figured out. We are happy to have Layla as part of our first grade team. She's an excellent role model for her peers as well as other people she may encounter throughout the day. We are glad to have her represent our first grade class as the February Student of the Month. Great job, Layla, and we are so proud of you. And last but not least, I'd like to invite up our other first grade student of the month, Noah Like this every day. Noah comes to us from Walton Hills. He lives with mom and dad. And his pet guinea pigs, named Pickle and Pablo. He said, when I asked if he had brothers, he goes, no, they're like brothers to me. So his favorite subject in school, once again, is math. He likes reflex and splash math, or games on the computers at school we use, because I rock. And his favorite specials class, PE. He likes it when we win a game, and he likes basketball. Outside at home, he likes to ride his bike, play basketball. Let's see that shot again. Shot again. And jujitsu, so don't mess with him. When he grows up, he wants to make movies or make toys. Yes, he is a very creative child. And college said maybe. And his message to his parents tonight, he wanted to thank Mom for his Pokemon cards. And he wanted to thank them for also being good parents. So the first grade team had this to say about him. The first grade team is delighted to nominate Noah as Student of the Month for February. Noah has a ginormous, spell that word, heart. His thoughtfulness and kindness towards others brings a smile to all those he encounters throughout the day. He is funny and brings joy to others. Noah is selfless and caring. He is a friend to all and always willing to lend a helping hand to any student or teacher in need. Noah is very enjoyable to have in class. He is polite and treats everyone with respect. Noah works hard in all his tasks and recognizes the hard work he has done when he encounters success. The joy he feels from that success is contagious, and he wants to share it with everyone in first grade. We are proud to have Noah represent our first grade class as Student of the Month. Congratulations once again. And I want to take this opportunity, I'd be remiss if I didn't say something to her. As a former student of mine, congratulations for being a spotlight student. Yes, Lisa Osborne was exactly like that, was her exuberant smile and personality back in the 80s. Congratulations.
All right, congratulations to all the students of the month, their families, and the teachers who teach them every day. We're going to take a short recess. This is an opportunity to go out by the Cuyahoga Heights backdrop, get photos with the Board of Education and with your families. We'll reconvene the meeting after that, and families, be sure to take your sons and daughters out for ice cream, or give them an extra hour fortnight, I guess. So, let's see. Pokemon cards, right? Pokemon cards. There we go. All right. Congratulations.
Moving on from our break to Section 5, comments from the public. I see no one is here, so we'll move right into approval of minutes. I have a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting of February 14th.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Decker.
Did we want to do things on a consent agenda, Gary? I'm sorry, Mr. Chaki, did you want to do it on consent?
Oh, no, approval, okay. It didn't say consent agenda. That's why I did it separately.
Okay.
So I apologize for that. And again, back to the Career Center, they do the minutes separately from the rest of the treasurer's business. Don't ask me why. So, my apologies, let's continue with your consent agenda, Ms.
Thank you, Mr. Souchaki. Tonight I ask for items 6A, 7A through 7D for approval in the consent agenda.
So moved?
Moved by Mr. Dobbins, I guess, and we're starting over, who would?
I'll second.
And then Ms. Browse will second, and any discussion?
Yep, just wanted to touch base on, we can look at 7A would be our financial reports. We don't have to jump in that too much. We're on track. 7B would be our new vendors. We just have 4. If we were to click on that T3 lead sheet. The first one is for Aptigee, and that agreement will be on the superintendent's side tonight. The second one is Champion Cheer Central for cheerleading competitions. Third one is Lexa Learning Systems, that's Science of Reading. And the fourth one is going to be a towing vendor that we would have towing services for the bus garage. If I close out of there and we look at our purchase orders over 5,000, item 7C, we click on our lead sheet, we have 2. The Haber Polk Cabot, I'll circle to that last, and we'll look at the purchase order documentation. The second one is going to be Transfinder Corporation. Matt, did you want to touch base on this one since you're still?
Yeah, this is a bus routing software that we've used. This is actually starting the 3rd year. This is the basic subscription that allows us to route our buses efficiently throughout the district, keep track of our inventory. We're going to be adding this year the GPS feature that was paid for with the safety grant, which is going to allow us as well as our families to be able to track the buses. So they'll know exactly where their students are at any given time, at any given point along the bus routes. So more to come on that. We'll be piloting that here in the near future.
Is the grant covering the entire $6,000 charge?
The $6,000 charge is separate from that. This is just our annual subscription to be able to use the maps and the software and the basic package.
And then the first item is Haber Polk Cabot, and as we can see, the description talks about recovery fees from January 1st of 2019 until December 31st of 2023. And in parentheses, we have 40% owed for attorney fees per agreement. Now that total is $15,221.75. But also note, it's coming out of our 3 fund, which is the recovery loss of assets account that we have, the sub-account. So if we go to that item on the agenda and we click on T4A, it's going to have all the supporting documentation. So there's 6 pages. The first page is going to be our requisition. And we can see the total of $15,221.75. Now keep in mind that this is for calendar year 2019, 2020, 2021, 22, and 23, so 5 calendar years. And if we go down to the second page, these are all the amounts that we received. Now this deals with the recovery of the theft that occurred more than 10 years ago. So the agreement's attached in here, and I'll touch base on that, but we can see the small amounts that the district recovers from various people that were involved in the scandal that occurred more than 10 years ago. So we'll receive 500, 400, give or take, every so often. And we worked with the legal counsel that represents the district, which is that vendor. And let's go to the second to last page, because I have it highlighted there, page 5 of 6. And we can see the agreement. This is the agreement that's signed on the last page back in 2012. And what I've highlighted is, number 1, the attorney fees. So it says, client agrees that Haber Polk Cabot will be entitled to a contingency fee of 40% of client's gross recovery on such claims, whether by settlement, trial, or in any other manner. So 40% of what we receive, gross recovery, goes to Haverhill Polk Cabot from that agreement that was signed back then. So since these amounts were small, we worked with them and just said, hey, for a couple of years, let's gather everything. And it's crazy how fast time goes and how small amounts can add up to large amounts that we have. So on pages 2, 3, 4, totals to the amount there, $38,000 some dollars, and when we take 40%, that's how we get our $15,221.75. So we're paying according to the agreement that was signed, and this is just a continuation. This will occur, for the future.
Thank you.
Thank you for the explanation. Any other discussion or other points you want to bring up, Mr. Muccio?
That's it for tonight.
Questions from any board members? Hearing none. Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Dobbins.
Aye.
Ms. Prouse.
Aye.
Mrs. Decker.
Aye.
Mrs. Etter.
Aye.
Mr. Souchaki.
Aye, motion passes 5-0. Moving on to superintendent's business. Mr. Young.
I had a couple of discussion
Oh,
items.
did I miss another one?
Yep.
I did. I skipped right over it.
So 9A, I have a couple discussion items tonight. So 9A is going to be our levy information that we've had, and our levy is coming up kind of soon. So March 19th, it's only a couple weeks away. So it will be here before we know it. But this is levy info, if anybody listening is interested to read about it. It talks about the past and how we arrived at our levy that we have. 9B is going to be our levy issue number. We are issue number 22 in the March 19th, 2024 election. 9C is going to be the sample ballot, if anybody's curious what that looks like. 9D is going to be the Suburban Health Consortium. Just wanted to touch base on a few items that had occurred. So, first off, we are switching from Medical Mutual to Anthem, and that effective start date is 4/1/24. So we have, as of today, completed the enrollment census. So myself and Ulixa had worked a lot on that census spreadsheet for the past 2.5 weeks, and we completed it yesterday, had emailed it off. We are in the middle of the pack of all other member school districts, and we have enrolled all of our members and their dependents in the plans that we have. Anthem also came out to present to our staff Thursday, February 22nd in the afternoon, 2:30 to 4:30. We had 2 different presentations, one here at the high school, middle school, and then right after at the elementary school. Reps from Anthem, as well as the Suburban Health Consortium, were there to address our staff, and we have the link right here, videotaped if anybody's curious to watch it. So, also, just going down for the other content that we have. So we know that Lakewood withdrew from Suburban Health Consortium. Their effective date is April 1st, 2024, and that was board approved by their board, 2/5/24. Now, the way that they're leaving the consortium, in the consortium agreement, it states that you have to give 180 days notice before you officially can leave. What they're saying is they're leaving due to non-payment. So they're making their effective date April 1st, and they're going to say that they're not paying for their claims come April 1st, therefore they are out of the consortium. So their legal counsel and the legal counsel for Suburban Health Consortium have been working back and forth, but that verbiage is in the consortium agreement. It really was written for schools that would have financial difficulties and can't make payment. They can work on a plan for it, so it's not really being used for the intent in which it was written. That's the intent Lakewood's using to leave the consortium come April 1st. We've also been made aware, and if we click on North Royalton City School District below, they have a special meeting scheduled for February 29th, which is tomorrow. And if you look at that notice for their schools, it says to consider passing a resolution to join the Great Lakes Regional Council of Governments. So it's possible that tomorrow, North Royalton may also be leaving the consortium. So if North Royalton leaves, there's a very real possibility that we can get a rate repricing from Anthem, which is in the agreement that was signed. Now, the consortium's been working on recruiting other school districts to come in, Hudson being one of them. But, you know, there's just a lot of, you know, aspects going into it right now with it. But just wanted to bring everybody up to speed on that one.
Those two larger districts,
There.
Lakewood and North Royalton, could adversely affect the
Yes,
prices for us as well.
yes.
Unless they're the ones that have the high flames.
It's possible. But also too, we use the buying power of the full consortium to go out, so if we lose some members of it, we don't have that full, you know, membership. So that's another factor. Number two that I have, Suburban Health Consortium continues to be under those reserve levels. We talked about that at the last meeting. No, so when we had the regular meeting for Suburban Health Consortium, I think it was the day after the board meeting, no assessment or mid-year rate increase was discussed at the February 20th Suburban Health Consortium meeting. So it appears for the time being, the executive committee is recommending a wait-and-see approach. So we know that we're under where we need to be from a funding level perspective. You know, we talked about it there. We know Anthem, the switchover is not going to be a fix, you know, for everything. It's going to take time as well. But I don't think anybody has the appetite to do a mid-year rate increase or an assessment for the time being. So it's a wait and see from what the exec committee is saying. And then point number three, Suburban Health Consortium has directed the consultant to share claims data with each member school district. This deals with rate recalibration. So that's setting rates against claims data for each school. The majority of Suburban Health Consortium schools are underfunding the consortium, some by 30%, 40%, 50%, and even one at 70%. We are running well currently at this point in time. But that means that one school out there has their claims at a certain price point and they're funding it 70% less. That's why the consortium is not performing well currently, because we have some schools that haven't been priced maybe correctly coming into the consortium. There's a lot of discussion on this. There was a prior consulting firm that worked for Suburban Health Consortium. They had a certain methodology on where they would bring schools into the consortium and price them for what they were paying for their claims. The new firm, the current firm that came in, once the old one had left, has a different methodology, and they brought forward, you know, some concerns that they thought it's really coming to a tipping point because we've had a lot of claims come due recently in the past couple of years, and it's putting a spotlight on maybe how some of these schools had recently come into the consortium. We are not made aware of what other school districts' funding levels look like, and they're doing that intentionally, so we're not picking on each other. But
But they did tell you that somebody
yes, they,
but now you don't know who.
right, so the methodology that they're using, so they're talking about a rate recalibration. What does that mean? So that means that how we currently have it, we vote on one percentage, let's say it's 7% for a rate increase. Everybody absorbs 7%. Now they're talking about recalibrating the rate, and what that means is that each school would get a unique individual rate based on their claims. So the methodology and process has been talked about a lot. There's a subgroup made to study this. 11 people are on that. I'm not on that. And they've devised a methodology of, you know, buckets where they place school districts, perhaps via deductibles. So if a school has 0, 100 to 150, 250, 300, and 500, you put those in the buckets, and they kind of show, like, you know, where schools are lining up. But the short of it is there are some that are underfunding the consortium by 30, 40, 50, and even 70%. So until those are recalibrated up, so those schools are paying their fair share, I guess you can call it, and we're not picking up the tab for everybody going forward, because we're doing well, and we're pretty much, I don't want to speak about it publicly, but we're doing well, I'll just say that. So there's just a lot of discussion on, you know, how the consortium's business model is, and maybe that's why North Royalton, you know, some schools are upset. And that was kind of the fear, is once we have our claims, you know, is there going to be a run on the bank like It's a Wonderful Life, how everybody was going to the bank and taking their money out? You know, is everybody going to leave the consortium? So, you know, I've been pushing for a special meeting, so we all sit around the room and say, you know, let's not do this in the shadows, let's do it all in public and say, who wants to leave, who doesn't, let's see who still wants to stay. How do we, devise a consortium? Because it doesn't make sense why North Royalton would leave. They're gonna have to pay 2 months' worth of claims, and for them, it's about $600,000, so they're gonna have to pay, just to leave, about 1.3 million. 650,000 is their amount. So they're gonna have to pay 1.3 just to leave, and they're gonna have to go into another consortium, and they're gonna have to, get plans that are the same, I would imagine, or as close to the same as what they currently have for their employees, because our agreements talk about, we can't really go down unless it's negotiated with plans. So they're gonna have to work on having, apples to apples with their current health insurance plans. And typically, you have to get vested with any consortium that takes you. They're gonna look at their claims and see if they have good or bad claims, but that's, subjective. We could go someplace and I could get cancer tomorrow and our claims could skyrocket. So you never know, and you share the risk in a self-insured consortium amongst all the other members that you have. So it doesn't quite make sense to me, but, all the districts are talking, all the supers, all the treasurers, so there's just a lot of, discussions taking place. But I just wanted everybody to know kind of where we currently stand. Any questions?
Is there likely going to be some type of an event that we as a board would have to consider between now and April 1st? I appreciate the information, it's really helpful, and I'm trying to understand whether what we're talking about is possibly a prospective action that we as a board might have to consider, or whether this is to be taken as information and
Right.
used at a different point.
This is more informational.
Okay.
But
thank
it's kind of more letting everybody know that, if a lot of schools say they just want to leave the consortium, does the consortium dissolve? Does the legal counsel for the consortium, the consultants recommend dissolving everything? And then we would have to, either go someplace or form a new suburban health consortium, with member schools. So there's a lot of unknowns at this point. But I just wanted everybody to kind of have a good foundation, as we go forward with it, so.
I appreciate the update, thank you.
And then the last item I had was 9E. So I was going on vacation in March, and it's an Easter vacation, and one of the days I'm leaving is March 27th, which is our second board meeting of March. So we'll need to fill in, maybe Mr. Young can fill in for me.
Sure.
I won't have a lot of items on the agenda, so I'll save it either for before or after that meeting. I just want to give a heads up. You may need a treasurer pro temp for the meeting too.
Yes, we would.
But, yep.
Unless, would we want to consider changing the date of the meeting? Or just leave it as?
Unless Mr. Muccio feels that he's going to miss us too much. But we will need a treasurer pro tem. Anybody want to step up for that task?
One of us.
Yeah, it's one of us.
And we can appoint it for the next meeting too, so.
Yeah. Either that, right, we have one more meeting that we can do it, but we just have to make sure it's on the agenda that we do that. If you could-
But everybody can think about it and you guys can let me
Yeah.
know later.
We can fight about it.
Yep.
Arm wrestle.
Yep.
Yeah,
Draw
right.
straws, short straw. Could be. Not that bad of a job, though, but, yeah, and that's all I have for tonight.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions for Mr. Muccio? Okay, well, let me get off of the North Weldon thing and get on to our next item on the agenda, which is superintendent's business. Turning it over to Mr. Young.
Okay, items on the superintendent's consent agenda include 10A and B, 11A and B, and 12A, B, and C. I ask that these items on the consent agenda be considered for approval.
Okay, may we have, entertain a motion for the superintendent's agenda?
So moved?
Mr. Dobbins, second?
I'll second.
Okay. Is there any discussion?
Absolutely.
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 Go right ahead,
Yeah, we'll
Mr.
be
Young.
pretty brief going through these. 10A, these are additional chat supplemental contracts. Most of these are related to our spring sports that are upcoming. For the supplemental position, this is for a ticket taker. That's per the miscellaneous pay schedule. 11A, Mrs. DiBianca is going to help us with testing. Testing is just about 6 weeks away. We're going to be into testing season, and once we're in testing season, it's about 6 weeks in length, and then the end of the school year right after that. Letter B, this is the employment of long-term sub for Mrs. Nolan in 7th and 8th grade English Language Arts. Heather Calvert is being recommended pending successful completion of the BCI FBI background checks. She would be on the substitute teacher miscellaneous pay rate schedule. For 12A, this is the main events entertainment contract for our senior class luncheon class of 2023 to be held on May 22nd of 2023 for a cost of $2,865.62.
Mr. Young,
Yes.
did the funds for that come from the
Senior-
senior class fundraising?
Yes, it's from the senior class fundraising account.
Okay.
For 12B, this is our annual membership into the Ohio High School Athletic Association for next school year already. That's at a cost of $50 per sport at the high school level. There's no charge at the middle school level. And then letter C, this is the approval of a 5-year contract with Apogee for district communications. So this is being paid for, Robert, in year 1, it's paid for with largely by grant funding. Is that correct?
That is correct. The first year subscription, along with the installation and training fees, will all be paid for by the Ohio Attorney General's Ohio Tech Link Group.
And what this is going to do, this is going to replace our current website. It's going to make it more app-friendly. It's going to make it more communication-friendly. Hopefully fewer clicks to get where you want to go, but it's also going to help us consolidate some other things like our One Call Now service will be now through this particular software. Constant Contact will go through this particular software. Remind, which is what we use for parent communication. Remind has been purchased by a company called Parent Squared. So those services were going to change anyway. So now that's also going to be absorbed within this one purchase. So in buying this one piece of software, when you look at the annual costs each year after, years 2, 3, 4, and 5, it's roughly the same as all those other individual licenses put together, but it's housed in one place. So we're looking to be a lot more efficient with our communications. And we know how important that is because the website is one of the first places people go to learn about your school district, and we want to make sure that it's a positive experience for those that are using it.
So are you saying the yearly contract amount is listed here on this page 1? The 4 different amounts, they go down in each year?
So the first year, there's an installation and a
Okay.
training. So the first year is the biggest
30,000?
cost.
Uh-huh.
And then from there, each successive year, because you don't have to pay for that anymore, you're just paying for all of your add-on services and the main package itself.
So if I'm reading this correctly, though, it goes down a couple $1,000s in year 2, then year 3, an additional $1,000, but then year 4, it's half the cost. Is that correct?
I believe that breakdown might be is if you went with a 1-year deal versus a 3-year deal and a 5-year deal. Each annual payment
Yeah.
should be roughly around the same, which is comparable to all the other apps that we have together. The difference is that first year, it's $27,000. That includes the first year annual subscription and the training and everything. Initially, this program was put on hold because of that cost, but thanks to the Ohio Link grant, we're able to cover that. But each year after should be around the same.
If you go to the second attachment, where it says the 5-year mobile apps, rooms, engage, and web development, and go to page 6, this shows you the total of the 5-year cost at $87,850. The $27,000, the one-time development cost is $27,170. That's the part paid for by the grant, correct?
Yep.
And then every year after that's $15,170. So that shows how it's spelled out there. Okay. And that's all I have for those items.
Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, treasurer, please call, oh, yes. Yes, please call the roll. I want to make sure I'm in the right spot.
Mr. Dobbins.
Aye.
Mrs. Decker.
Aye.
Mrs. Etter.
Aye.
Ms. Prowse. Mr. Stuchaki.
Aye, motion passes 5-0. Section 14, any further discussion from the superintendent?
Just have a few things. First, I want to congratulate our mock trial program, Mr. Kosovich, and our team members for qualifying for the state, state championships, so to speak. That's not this weekend, but the following weekend. I have to think we're one of the smaller schools there. He had a little bit of kind of a sweet taste in his mouth after knocking off Brecksville, which is where he was before. No animosity, but it's something he was unable to accomplish there, but he's able to accomplish here. And you know, we're going with Solon, one Ignatius team. I think there's 2 teams from Orange, Revere, Kenston. I mean, we're really among some of the elite. St. Edwards, they won the state championship last year and they didn't make it out. So it's pretty impressive. It's beyond pretty impressive. I don't know if it's a first for Cuyahoga Heights, but it's a first since I've been here. And it's just so impressive. I want to congratulate Mr. Kosovich and especially all the students who have to stand up there and perform.
And I really like that we present them to a school board meeting coming up.
Absolutely.
Regardless of what happens. And
Yes.
get the state competition.
Yeah, that's going to be a recommendation to Mr. Evans to ensure that we get them here for the Board of Education to recognize. We're also in postseason with our athletics, of course. We've got a game tonight. I believe the girls basketball, boys basketball is on Friday. We're in the tournament, so, you know, win and you're in and lose and you're out. So we want to wish them luck. We want to wish the wrestlers luck. I'm not sure if we might have a couple indoor track folks left. So I think swimming is done. So things are starting to wrap up with sports. In the month of March, which would normally be tomorrow, but because of a leap day, we get one more day of February. There is a lot coming up. As I mentioned, you got the mock trial championships at the end of next week. We also have National Honor Society inductions are Monday, March 18th, so keep that on your radar. March 15th, that Friday night, is elementary school game night and the art show. And if you haven't been to that, I recommend that you stop in for an hour or so. It's wonderful to see families get together and do something fun. And Mrs. Orlando and Mr. Miller do a fantastic job of organizing that for everybody. And I think there's a couple more things. The musical, high school musical, starts Friday, March 22nd. So keep your eye out for that. That runs all weekend long. Looks like there's an OMEA state band competition this month as well. And as we close out the month, and there might be a levy election or vote coming up here on March 19th. So,
Possible.
so that's there too, yeah, in March. So it's a busy month, and it's hard to believe that the end of the third quarter is March 15th, and it's 9 weeks to the end of the school year from there.
Wow.
You know, we'll be talking about graduation before you know it.
Yes.
Mr. Young, do you know the location of the mock trial competition?
It's in Columbus.
Oh, it is in Columbus, okay.
Yep.
I know they did it locally here for probably some regional event.
Is it a one day or do they stay over?
It's a 2-day event. They go down. They're there the 7th, the 8th. I think the competition is the 8th and the 9th, but they head down on the 7th. It could be a 3-day event. Looking at it here on the
Definitely wish
calendar.
them well. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's fantastic. They're excited.
So much good news.
Yes.
Yeah, apologize for the raspy voice as well. So.
Not a problem. Any other questions for the superintendent? Discussions? Okay, so moving on to item 15, we have one item for board business, one to approve attendance at the ESC Leadership Academy. I have a motion for that item, please.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Dobbins. Do you have a second? I'll second it. This is an open-ended item, so anybody who wishes to attend, you're welcome to do so. The reason it needs to be approved, although it's a free event, but it's considered a half-day of work, so you get reimbursed for being there. So that's why we have to have approvals for that. Maybe it's not considered, I don't know. I guess you'd call it that. It's the half salary. So, any discussion or questions on that? Hearing none?
What days are it
Oh,
on? I don't know that I saw the days.
I don't recall the date off the top of my
I know
head.
that's on
I-
the flyer.
Doesn't say it
Maybe
in
it doesn't
here.
matter.
Coming up next week, I believe.
Okay,
I have an email on it, but
okay,
I
that's
have to,
fine.
okay, I can get
Is
it
it
to you
these?
later.
No, that's the
Oh,
other.
there it
page.
is.
That's the Northeast
No,
Conference.
that's the
Oh,
Northeast.
that's the other one. That's Northeast. Yeah, that's
No,
not the one
this
we're
is
going
through
to.
the ESC. It says
We-
Leadership Network.
Well, do we need to approve that as well, or only people are going to attend?
Is anybody attending that?
It says OSBA on there too. Is that what we're voting on?
No, oh, does it say OSBA? It shouldn't.
So OSBA and ESC.
Well, you know why we
It
put
says
them there? So that if
conferences.
anybody wants to attend, they can.
Either one.
That's why we put it there.
Okay.
Yeah, so we left it open-ended. So if you wish to attend that, you're welcome to do so. We aren't getting any awards for that,
Where's the cost for this one?
and there is a cost for that one.
I don't plan to attend the dinner, but I'm happy to support the Leadership Academy.
Great. Okay. Any further discussion? Thank you for pointing that out. I forgot that we put that in there when we set that up. Mr. Muccio, call the roll, please.
Mr. Dobbins.
Aye.
Mr. Souchaki.
Aye.
Mrs. Decker.
Aye.
Mrs. Etter.
Aye.
Ms. Prowse.
Motion passes 5-0. Board discussion, comments, committee reports, and so forth. Anybody have anything this evening?
Just congratulations, and to follow on Mr. Young's comments about how well things are going for the school on so many different levels and in so many different fronts, whether it's athletics or theatrics or mock trial, we're doing really well. So thanks to the entire team for leading the way.
Yeah, it does make it a pleasure to serve on the board, doesn't it?
That's all I have.
Anybody else? Future agenda items? Okay. It should be noted that the board, moving on to section 19, it should be noted that the Board of Education members received their agendas several days prior to the actual meeting, thus they have had opportunity to study, ask questions, and so forth. Upcoming meetings, all of them here in the Monterey Media Center, work session on the 13th at 6, regular meeting the 27th at 7, and another work session on April the 10th at 6 p.m. At this point, I would like to make a motion that we adjourn to executive session pursuant to ORC 121.22G1 for the purpose of considering employment and/or compensation of employees and/or officials of the school district, and G3 for conferences. Well, no, we aren't having conferences with an attorney, but that's there anyway. Okay.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Dobbins. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Souchaki.
Aye.
Mr. Dobbins.
Aye.
Mrs. Decker.
Aye.
Mrs. Etter.
Aye.
Ms. Prowse.
Motion passes 5-0. We are in executive session. It is 8:06 PM. There will be no business after the executive session.